This is going to be a quick video. At least I hope it will be. There really isn't a whole lot to shelling beans or peas because they're roughly the same when it comes to taking the peas out of the pod. I have, I want to say 2, 4, 6, 8 bags of different varieties of beans. And I don't think I've ever shown any of my new subscribers, my young gardeners, how to do any of this. I know that there are many people out there who are wanting to grow, and when it comes to harvesting, they're not quite sure what to do. Do they leave it on the vine and let it dry? Do they bring it in, let it dry inside of a bag or whatever container they put it in? And what do they do after it? Well, in a previous video, you saw me take all of my seeds that I had over in this corner and put them in paper bags. Well, now I have to go through these paper bags and harvest these bean seeds because it's time to get those beans in the garden. So without further ado, let me show you how I do that. I hope you all can see I don't have a table in my garage yet for my gardening purposes, so I just grabbed 2 buckets. So I've got a makeshift table over here. I'm just going to go inside these bags and see what's in here and shell these beans. Now, this is supposed to be an Oriental Wonder Pole bean. I don't know if it is an Oriental Wonder Pole bean. I was guessing. We shall see. So let's pull out what I have in here. I don't know whether or not these seeds are viable. I'm kind of thinking they are not. They look really small. And I don't believe they were this small when I put them in the garden. So all I do is just take the pod, since they're very dry, and just crack it. And the seeds come out just like that. Like I said, I don't know if any of these seeds are viable. As I mentioned, I left a lot of these on the vine or on the plant, and I don't know whether or not they were mature. The weather was really horrible last year, so we didn't get a lot of rain. I was just putting in my drip irrigation, so I didn't get to a lot of hand watering. My garden is a lot larger than it has been in previous years. As a matter of fact, my garden is larger than it's ever been. In previous years, I did have an in-ground garden bed, and it was large, but my garden did not contain as much as I have today. So it was difficult to go through and do all the things I needed to do because I was trying to put things in, I was trying to build as well as feed and water. And so some things suffered. Now I have my irrigation in. I am actually adding to it. I've got about 4 or 5 pots that I'm adding to it, but the vast majority of the garden is on drip, so that should take care of the water issues. I've tested it already this year. It is working. I was going to add another zone, but I think it's going to be fine as is. So all I'm doing is just going through these pods. I hope you all can see me, and opening up to see if I have any bean seeds in here. And it appears that I don't have very many, and I don't believe that these are viable because they are very small. But I don't know. I am going to do a viability test. If you're not quite sure what that is, what I do is I put my beans in water overnight and let them soak. Sometimes not just 24, but 48 hours, I let them soak. Bean seeds sprout very quickly. At least in my experience, my bean seeds sprout very quickly. So if these bean seeds are any good, they will have begun to sprout in the house in just a cup of regular water. It could be rainwater, it could be tap water, whatever kind of water you have. Sometimes I take tap water and I let it sit in the house uncovered in a jug of just a plain old like old vinegar jug, and I let any type of gases come off of it. Let it sit overnight, if not like a week. And then I put my bean seeds in that. And this is how I collect my bean seeds. So I'm not going to have you all, ooh, I lost one down there. Huh? I got stuff everywhere, y'all. Got gloves sticking to my arms, bean seeds flying across the makeshift table. But I'm not going to have you all sit here and watch me. I hope you all saw what I was doing. I'm going to speed this up, finish these off. Like I said, I don't know if these are viable, but I am going to do a viability test. And I will let you all know in a later video, or maybe a community post, whether or not they are viable. My thought process is that they are not. They are very small, and I don't remember them being this small when I planted the first set of beans that I bought from the store. These are all beans that I harvested from the garden, just in case you missed that. And I'm trying to get beans into the garden this weekend. So in order to do that, I need to harvest what I have in these bags. So let me speed this up and I'll be right back. These are all the bean seeds that I took out of these few little pods that I had. I didn't have very many. My bean production for some plants last year was very low. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't really harvest the beans. I let them grow and dry on the plant to try to get more seed for this year. But as you can see, these beans are small, so they did not mature the way they were supposed to. I'm going to do a viability test and we're going to see what I have. So I'm going to place these back in the bag if I can find it. And then I'm going to go on to the next set of beans. I'm not going to take you guys through all of these beans. I'm going to be doing the exact same process for each and every one of these bags. But I want to thank you for joining me in the garage today, as I am just trying to get myself ready to sow some bean seeds. If you like this video, do me a favor, share the video, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you either in my kitchen, my garden grow space in the garage sometime real soon. Bye for now. Here's a bonus, just so you can see. Not everything works out when you're growing in the garden. Sometimes you have a wonderful harvest. Sometimes your harvest is not so great. When it works out, it's wonderful. And here are some seeds that I know are viable. These seeds right here, they're nice and plump. They're full. Well, I don't know if they're viable yet, but these are mature seeds. These right here are mature. I'm not quite certain about these small ones. I'm thinking these small ones are not mature. Now, again, this is a different bean that I pulled out of a different bag. But all of these seeds that are nice and plump, they look like the bean seeds you would otherwise buy at the store or pull out of a packet of beans that you purchase for sowing. That's what these look like. That's what your beans at home are going to look like. Whether or not they're viable, that remains to be seen. Sometimes you have to double check to make sure they are by doing, like I do, a water test. So I just wanted to show you that I do get food in my garden, but not everything works out the way you'd like for it to. That's just a part of how gardening works. And for all of my new gardeners out there, just know that sometimes things don't turn out the way you like. That does not mean you should feel defeated. That just means that you should try again. So here are the next batch of beans that I can put back into the garden.